parliamentary announcement?
Yes, it is. It's in the.
So I don't need to talk about that. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. Those of you in the back, as you make your way up to your seats, we're going to begin our service today. Please join me by finding God's presence here together this Sunday morning by singing "Here in This Place." Here in this place, we come together, feeling the presence of God. Here in this place, one with each other, knowing who we really are. Then we are called to carry our light and shine it all over the world. Here in this place, we find acceptance. Here in this place, we find connection. Here in this place inside, we find the presence of God. We find the presence of God.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday. We're just so proud to share our vibrant community where love is here and we serve each other in joy and gratitude. As you know, prayer is the foundation of the unity message, and so we bless each one of you as we start our service today. My name is Bonnie Chase, and I'm just so happy to be up here and be with you this morning. If you're joining us on the live stream this morning, know that your energy and your presence will be part of the consciousness that we build together today. In addition to the Sunday morning experience, we just offer so many ways to share the truths that we believe with each other. And so if you want detailed information about some of those, please look at the website or take the bulletin insert with you. It's loaded with details. This morning, we're happy to welcome back Bruce Price as our guest speaker. And so now please stand as we share our opening song together. Oh, Greg wants an announcement, so please sit down while Greg comes up for his announcement.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's all right. Good morning, everyone. So, for many of you who were here at our annual meeting last Sunday, you'll know that we elected 3 new board members, and as 3 of our board members had completed their terms. The board members who completed their terms last Sunday were Eileen Spada, Kristen Harwell, and Kathy Lowry, and we're so grateful for the time that they served on the board. We elected 3 new members, and those 3 new members are Susan Armstrong, John McFarland, and Corinne Patel. So I'd like to welcome them all to the Board of Trustees. We also selected, after the service, the Board of Trustees themselves selected our board officers for the coming year. And our board officers for the coming year will be Corinne Patel as our secretary, Marilyn Velkerding as our treasurer, Donna Metzger as our vice president, and I have the privilege of being your president for 1 more year. So I'm happy to be able to do that. Thank you. And I wanted to have one more special announcement that we didn't have in the announcements section later, and that is we wanted to give a gratitude event for the One Heart, One Home fundraiser that we did last month and in December, and it will be held here in Unity Hall on Friday, April the 12th, beginning at 5 p.m., and everyone is invited, whether or not they contributed. There's no cost, but we ask that you do register so we know how much food to order. More information will be available in the coming weeks, but I just want everybody to have a save the date for the Gratitude Cruise. Terry Brewer is setting up an event that's going to be themed as if we're on a cruise. So looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. And now please stand as we share our opening song.
God, you are every mountain. God, you are every ocean. God, you are every canyon. every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every morning. God, you are every midnight. God, you are every moment, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. You are every sunrise, God, you are every moon glow. God, you are every star shine, every inch of earth and sky. God, you are every springtime. God, you are every snowfall. God, you are every season, every second of my life. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. And you are the very breath I breathe. And your perfect love created me. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you. Everything I see, everything I do, everything I am is you. Everything above, everything below, everything I know is you.
Please remain standing and let us say our church affirmation together. My oneness with God blesses me and those around me. Please be seated.
Good morning. My name is Barbara, and the daily word for today is strength. And the affirmation is, centered in divine strength, I am confident and peaceful. If I find myself struggling to bear the weight of a heavy load, if I am wondering how much farther I can travel or how much longer I can carry on, I rely on my spiritual strength to keep me going. When I align my thoughts with this divine gift and not on the weight I carry or the distance I travel, I am tapping into the power of God expressing as me. Through divine strength, I am renewed and refreshed. I have everything I need to stay the course. Knowing the presence of God comes to me through many channels. I may ask for help and accept it graciously when it comes. I give myself breaks and make time for prayer and other spiritual practices. Through it all, I remain strong and grateful for God within me. The scripture for today is from Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his power. Let us repeat the affirmation together. Centered in divine strength, I am confident and peaceful.
And now let us move into a consciousness of affirmative prayer. The February theme for Unity Worldwide and for our center is Pray for Others. That is something most of you do every day. Before we pray for others, however, it is important that we become quiet and look within, releasing any thought or feeling that is not in alignment with our spiritual selves. We forgive ourselves and all others so that we may rise into higher consciousness, free and completely open. Let us pray. Inhaling fully, exhaling deeply, we turn our gaze within. In this moment, we completely forgive ourselves and all others who have caused us pain in any form. We open to higher consciousness. We open to the spiritual realm where everything is known from the perspective of understanding, love, acceptance, and grace. We open in this moment to the consciousness of the divine presence. The Spirit of God is the soul of each of us, individuals, yet all one at the same time. From this consciousness, we bring to mind those for whom we wish to pray. As we speak their names aloud or silently, with reverence and love, we see them as God sees them, whole, free, and divine. Please speak their names aloud or silently now. We have opened to divine consciousness. We have placed our loved ones there. We go forward with a positive, joyful spirit in faith. All is well with our souls. Let us return our attention to this now moment as we share our February community prayer. One with the presence of God, we open our hearts to unlimited goodness. We pray for others and others in a spirit of love and faith. We celebrate the transforming power of God. Thank you, Creator. Amen. My name is Terry Brewer. Jojo and I will be available to pray with you after the service in the prayer sanctuary. Prayer request boxes are in the back cupboard and in the front foyer. You can also visit our website, uscwestlake.org, select the prayer tab, and do an online prayer. Our whole team of prayer chaplains prays with each request, wherever it comes from, every week. If you need prayer, you have come to the right place.
He was driving home one evening in his beat-up Pontiac when an old lady flagged him down. Her Mercedes had a flat. He could see that she was frightened, standing out there in the snow, till he said, "I'm here to help you, ma'am. By the way, my name's Joe." She said, "I'm from St. Louis, and I'm only passing through. I must have seen 100 cars go by. This is awful nice of you." When he changed the tire and closed her trunk and was about to drive away, she said, "How much do I owe you?" Here's what he had to say. "You don't owe me a thing, I've been there too. Someone once helped me out just the way I'm helping you. If you really want to pay me back, here's what you do. Don't let the chain of love end with you. Well, a few miles down the road, the lady saw a small cafe. She went in to grab a bite to eat and then be on her way. But she couldn't help but notice how the waitress smiled so sweet, and how she must have been 8 months along and dead on her feet. No, she didn't know her story, and she probably never will. When the waitress went to get her change from $100 bill, the lady slipped right out the door and on a napkin left a note. There were tears in the waitress' eyes when she read what she wrote. You don't owe me a thing, I've been there too. And someone once helped me out just the way I'm helping you. If you really want to pay me back, here's what you do. Don't let the chain of love end with you. That night when she got home from work, the waitress climbed into bed. She was thinking about the money and what that lady's note had said. As her husband lay there sleeping, she whispered soft and low, everything's gonna be all right. I love you, Joe. Okay. What a blessing love is. So grateful for the ever-present love of the Creator expressing through us. Let's sit here a moment in that prayerful gratitude for life and the love that we can share with each other. Take this time to remember that we are whole, that we are love, and that we are one with the source of that wholeness and love, the Creator we call God. As we affirm that in prayer, we also take time in the silence to just sit and listen and be present and strengthen, not our connection, for the connection cannot be stronger, but we strengthen our awareness of the connection of God, the Creator, the good. So please join me in a couple of moments of silence, stillness, to be one.
And as we come back to the presence of the room, it's such a blessing to be together in communion today, in community, sharing our presence, sharing our energy, and lifting up our consciousness to be more in tune with the love of the Creator. Oh, that song was good. I read that this morning, the words before. I don't always read those, and I had the information, and I read that song, and I'm sitting on the couch crying, and Nikki's like, "What's wrong?" Like, the song is so perfect today. I said, "You're going to cry." But it's such a simple message, and it's actually everything I have to share today. So, again, I often feel that the song handles the message, and then I clumsily try to add on. Music is powerful, and words, lyrics really hit home sometimes. However, I'm going to try. So I'm wearing this shirt today, not because it was so warm last weekend, but because it's light green. Very light, actually, but it's the color of strength, and that is the power that we focus our attention on in February. Now, over the years, I've occasionally, at least in my muddled memory, thought, well, we're going to do love in February, which is actually April. Not that any of that matters. It's just something we came up with. This order of, oh, wait, that's September. We'll get to order eventually. But here's the awakening that I had around it, because I had to go check, and say, well, what's going on, on the Unity site and the Daily Word? And it's like, oh, no, they're focusing on strength. So I guess maybe it was me that jumbled it up, because it's like, come on, it's Valentine's Day. We're all thinking about love. Then I realized it's all perfect, because love is our strength. Love is sort of like our superpower. And it's also the essence of all that is God. God is love. So it all blends. So I wanted to talk a little bit about love, because that's where I started before I got myself in order. And then weave that into the intention for the month held in Unity, across all Unity, which is praying for others. That's the theme of February for Unity. So praying for others, kind of like the song, I see that. But you're born. And when you're born, what love's like at that point is you. See if I turn this on. Hi. Okay. Is that better? So, when you're a baby, you just are love, right? We all see the babies, and what do? We love them. We want to hold them until they start to cry, then we hand them back. So you start out you're fresh from wherever it is that you were before you were born. And you just can't help being adorable. But that's sort of like your outward projection. But what's going on for you is the part of love is awakening, is what I'm going to call it. So I've come up with the phases of life and just a couple of words to talk about the energy of love, I think, at that time. And so I think when I'm a baby, I don't remember exactly, but I just think I'm just awakening to the world, and I'm figuring out how to do what I do, how to breathe, how to eat, how to get what I need, how to be held, and all those different things. So that's how it starts when you're an infant. But then you become a toddler. And then what do you love, and how do you love? Well, it's about discovering. I mean, you're trying everything. I mean, hang out with a 2-year-old for a while. They want to touch everything. They're trying to pull themselves up and get on their feet. They want to do what we're doing. They want to walk, especially if they have older siblings. You really see how much they want to be like their older brothers and sisters. And, they come along. And also they're developing. They're becoming this human being. They are a human being, but they're becoming more able to engage and interact. And being a toddler is a fun time, most of the time. It's fun for the toddler, I think, almost all the time. For the parents, yeah. So then you become an adolescent. Some of us stay there for a long time. I'm thinking of leaving it soon. But I think love in this period of adolescence, this is sort of like from single digits, you get to 10, now you're an adolescent, so 10 to 20 or so, you call that your adolescent phase. So you're expanding what you do, you're experimenting a lot, just trying all sorts of things and learning about relationships. I mean, you have your primary relationship with your nuclear family, your mom and your dad, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters. Sometimes it looks like war, but it's really love, And then the big crushing thing comes in, zooming in, upsetting everything, puberty. And then everything starts to change once that happens. And along life, your priorities in love start to shift. So anyway, there's this big explosion of activity that's happening as you're in the middle throes of your teens, but then you become a young adult, and I think this phase, and of course everything I'm saying is probably autobiographical, you may or may not agree or relate to it, but if you think back over the course of times in this big broad stroke, I think the next phase, like I think of my 20s, friends. It's all about kind of moving in a mob. I mean, whether you're still in school, or maybe you're in college, or maybe you're entering your first jobs, and you're connecting with people, and when you're not working, you're doing things, and you're experimenting and expanding how you interact and connect and share your heart with people. But really, that's probably the friends that you've had, most of them, you develop kind of early. Maybe I'm just influenced by a television show I saw in the 90s. I don't know. Y'all hang out and have coffee at the Perk or whatever that thing's called. But also, you really get interested, and I know you experimented in this through your adolescent phase, but you really get serious about coupling, I think, in your 20s. And so you really start to think about, well, which one of my friends am I going to be really close friends with, and am I going to have a partner and or not, but there's definitely, I think, a priority on that at that phase of love. And then you get into middle life, and now your family is your priority. And maybe you have children, maybe you don't. A lot of people do, and if you don't, maybe you're the best aunt or uncle out there and you're connecting with other kids, but you're also spending a little more time maybe being concerned or helping out with your parents. And I think in middle life, and that's what's going to dovetail into the praying for others, I think this is the point in your life where you're finally got the bandwidth to really be focusing on others more. I think up until then, you're kind of on this wild ride. I mean, from birth to 20 there's just a lot going on. It's about all I could handle to handle me, but it's not like I was not thinking of others. It's just that wasn't my biggest thought. But I think by the time you get to middle life, really the focus of your life is others. You want to be a good partner if you have one. You're taking care of your kids. You're driving to soccer and then piano and if you have a lot of kids, we have a friend, and she's got 4 boys, and they're like 22 through like 16 at this point. And we were just talking to her. She looks a little tired. And she just looked at us and she said, you know, when I look back, there are years of my life I don't remember. So what I'm emphasizing is that you really get involved in others and really start to be in service and appreciating. And I just think that this is more the phase of our life where we really have the time and the effort and the intention to pray for others more. And I don't mean so much the classic praying that I learned about, where you drop to your knees and beg for the things you want for Christmas, but the part where you're just really, you know, changing that tire on the side of the road and being there for people and recognizing that people have needs. And so when I think about what that looks like, I think people have 2 fundamental needs: to know they are loved and to know they're supported. And I think the part about being loved that we can do by praying for others is simply knowing that they're seen. Like when someone sees you, doesn't that feel good? To just know that they see you as somebody. And nothing needs to be said verbally. There's a lot being said in thought, in emotion, in presence. So as we get to middle life, we're really more focused on others, I think. This is what I think, and if not, let's start. Because what's coming next is what I'm going to call mature life. None of us are there. Well, I'm not talking about maturity, the adolescent thing. I don't know when that changes. But we get older, and love changes. The words I put on it for this stage is wisdom. Because you know a lot because you've done a lot, right? It's like that guy on the insurance commercial. What's that guy's name? Anybody know? I love that guy. Yeah, Jay Robbie or whatever his name is. But I should have looked that up. But I really think that over life, you do accumulate a lot of wisdom from your experiences, and you really want to share that with your children. They don't want to hear it, but you want to share it with them. You have a little more of a window with your grandchildren because they think their grandparents are the smartest people in the world, probably. You know, so you just have to skip a generation to be able to download and share the wisdom. And sometimes it's a little overbearing, but I really think that the intention is pure love, because you want to help them to have a better experience, a better life, to know that they are loved and supported. And so that's the best part of the mature spot. But then as things go on in your maturity, you kind of get to the point where people start to go away, transition, and your circle can get smaller and smaller. And sometimes as we get very mature, we can always find ourselves alone a lot, at least with the people. So when you do have that opportunity to connect and be present with someone, you really appreciate it. Now, I know a few folks that are in positions like that, and boy, just spending a minute with them is gold. They feel that support so much, and just to know that they're not forgotten. And then you give them the opportunity to share their wisdom. Like, it's sort of like the Tuesdays with Maury's thing, right? Everybody familiar with that book where, you know, every Tuesday Maury would go sit with this, I don't know what the relation was, maybe it was just a friend, but an older person, and he got a lot out of that, and they wrote a book, and you can read it. But I just think as folks get older, and we're all going to get older, unless we don't, and, you know, what's left at the end? The relationships, the connection, and the people. Of course, you're never alone because God is always with you. You know, I'm reading a book called Rebbe. I don't know. There's this man who's passed on now, but his name was Menachem Mendel Schneerson. And yeah, it's quite a name. There's some cool names in the Hebrew gist, but he was an interesting character. I mean, he's a larger-than-life character in that area of life, the Lubavitch Jewish Hasidic group. He's a big deal to them, but why did I mention him? Oh, dear. Well, anyway, I don't remember. The Rebbe, yeah. So, but he said something about what I was talking about, and it made sense. And so all I'm saying is that, so let's just roll forward to praying for others. So I think the key point I was trying to make there is that as we progress through this journey, this amazing experience of life, love shows up in a whole bunch of different ways. And, but how do we pray? So, really, prayer in unity is all about consciousness. We know this, right? But in physical consciousness, is how we sense things. Mental is our thinking. Emotional, our feeling. And spiritual is our thought. And it's in spiritual thought, spiritual consciousness. That's the main element of prayer. Because it's what our thoughts are about. Whether it's our own, and we don't, I used the phrase recently, elevating our consciousness, and someone, a Unity person I know very well, said, you know, you don't really elevate your consciousness. The consciousness is always there. But what we do is we remind ourselves to come back in tune with that consciousness, because it's easy to get distracted in your thoughts, like when you're talking about rebbes. So now I know why that's useful, at least a little bit. And when I talk about praying for others, I'm going to tell you about how I get distracted. You might just simply think that despite what I learned growing up as a Presbyterian, that prayer really isn't like this sequestered event that I do at a certain point in time, like before I go to bed at night. Now I lay me down to sleep. Thank you. Amen. And I think that's a beautiful way to go to bed. But really, I think prayer is so much more comprehensive. And I know I'm speaking to a Unity group, so everybody knows what I'm saying already. But so every thought in a certain aspect is a prayer, because it's affecting my consciousness. And you know, when Eric Butterworth, and I've been reading this book again, and I swear, you know, do you ever read books and it's like, yeah, I thought I remembered that, but boy, seems like he added some things to it since the last time I looked at it. I always enjoy that. It's like, there's always more there. And he's talking about the forgotten art of prayer. One of the things he said is that, you know, he makes some funny comments about, you know, the begging God for this, that, and the other. And he's like, you know, it's all there all the time. Just open to it. So he uses a metaphor of a cabin in the woods, and you haven't been in this cabin in a while. You open it up for the spring. It's a little dank in there. And what you want to get is some light and air in there. Well, you don't, like, pray to the sun to bring in there. What do? You open the windows, and you open the door, and you let what's already there in. So that's what we do through our thoughts and our consciousness. We open our doors and windows, and we let that energy in. It works. It works because it doesn't change anybody other than me. I change me. And then, you know, some people take that to be a gateway to healing. But the truth is that while we have clear evidence of sickness and disease in our race consciousness, the truth is that we are whole and healthy. And so, the healing prayer is just coming in alignment with that in our consciousness. When the woman touched the cloak of Jesus and was healed, and she said, "Thank you," he said, "Why are you thanking me? It's your consciousness that healed you." So sometimes we think praying for others means we're going to help them heal. And the answer is we can help them. When Butterworth talks about praying for others, what he says is the best thing to do is to raise yourself, to raise your vibration, to raise your consciousness. Sort of like that idea that a rising tide lifts all boats. Because we can't change others as much as we'd like to sometimes. It's really about changing ourselves and then being a model, not a critic, being a light, not a judge. Others will see our light and they'll be attracted to it, and it will positively impact them. It's sort of funny, I was thinking about this, sort of like the light that the bugs are attracted to. And I thought, I'm talking to Nikki, I'm not sure where this metaphor is going to go, because I don't want to think of all those people I love as pests. Because sometimes when your light's on and everybody's coming at you, it does feel a little bothersome. But this is where I need to change my thought. And instead of seeing them as the pest, I need to see them as the Buddha or the Christ, right? So then I got the joke. All my friends are Budapest. But I knew I was going to work that in there. So anybody feeling like the pest is here? Guilty as charged. So we want to pray for others, but the way we do that is by just holding a higher thought. And so I've been practicing this. I thought I was practicing it for years, but I really focused on it. Because remember, in January we had 2 different spiritual practices. One is to practice being more intentional, and then the last time was work on getting more clarity. So here I've got intention and clarity about how I can be more present and praying for others. And so what I've just been focusing on is, not going into my quiet space and holding everybody in my consciousness and seeing them whole and healthy. That's all good. But what I realize is on the way to the prayer room, I probably walked by 100 opportunities to be in prayer for others. And it's as simple as a smile, a nod. Again, 2 things. See them, and let them know they are supported. And sometimes that's just like, hey, we're all in this together. Yep, as we're working through the mob of people trying to get out of the concert venue that we're walking from the other night. And what I realized for myself is how many ways I get distracted by non-good thoughts. Like the urgency of, I can't, I'm impatient, I want to get where I want to go. Everybody wants to get where I want to go. Like, just be with the people you're with as opposed to, come on, go, And so as I shift my thinking about the environment that I'm in, I'm really in prayer. Because that prayer is bringing my thoughts into a consciousness of alignment that there's enough. Infinitely enough. And that everyone around me is one with me, not against me. And I think I might be one of the more difficult cases. Seriously, I think I'm pretty judgy. It's been becoming more clear to me. And this is why I brought up the spiritual practice for this week, which may come up. Find room for... one way through judginess is playfulness. Because, especially for me, because I open up my mind to more clarity, I see that, I'm not quite as nice as I thought I was, and it's real easy to go to beating yourself up. Anybody? Am I alone? feeling lonely. No. And so if we can just shift it to a little bit of playfulness, hey, look at me, I'm judgy. It's like just love myself and also be a little playful with others. So essentially, on the way to the prayer room, what I'm saying is that you can pray for others all you want, but don't overlook the opportunity to just be a presence to them. But there's a couple of cautions. Because I've been the overzealous puppy, and some people are just like, get that dog out of here. So I think, again, staying in higher consciousness, it's just look for the path of meeting people where they are, rather than how you want to show up to them. And I'm not saying you should lower your energy at all to their energy or raise it to their energy. You don't have to change your energy at all. Just let your energy be empathetic to them so that you can meet them where they're at. And it's kind of like a way of socially asking for permission. And you're going to have some give and take and clumsiness with it, so don't forget to be playful. That usually lubricates the situation a little bit in my experience. That's why I'm encouraging it. And it's also some joy comes. Most people like that, And I'm probably a little bit over the top. Don't ask Nikki for her opinion. But, I don't talk to every clerk at the grocery store. But, when I told the girl the other day that she looked like Helena Bonham Carter, she goes, oh my God, really? I'm such a Harry Potter fan. I'm so impressed that you think that, or whatever. I don't know if impressed, but she was happy. I know that. So meet them where they are and only give them what they are open to receiving. Because you can't give somebody something they don't want to take. With that in mind, though, being present, kind, and playful. Here's an example. What's your favorite photo of Albert Einstein? Is it not? Now, here's the most serious, brilliant guy on the planet at that time, and he's like, he was very playful. So, sometimes in our religious practice or our spiritual practice, we think we need to be serious. It is serious, but you can be playful and serious at the same time. So this, my encouragement, is just look for those opportunities to be praying for others through your presence and noticing them. And don't push yourself on them, but be open to being present to them. And with that in mind, another way that I want to talk about that is to give an announcement to you. So working with Eric and the board, who's Eric? Are you on the board? No. You guys are so good to me. I like how playful you are about this. Yeah. So anyway, getting back to Eric. Yeah, we're all one. I could call him Bruce. Yeah. Anyway, working with Greg and the board, we're going to do a little experiment, and that experiment's going to involve me spending a little more time here at the church on Tuesdays. I'm going to be here for about 3 hours. Right now it looks like this Tuesday, which is the 13th, I'll be here from noon to 3. I'm going to be in the office, and I'm going to see if I can find a way to help a little bit. And I'm not really sure what I will do, but I am open. The doors are open. The windows are open. The sun's coming in. You can come talk to me if you want. Anyway, this is really just unplanned. But I just want to be very clear about what it isn't. Because many people have asked me about having a role of more like spiritual leader here. That's not the path for me to take for so many reasons. So this isn't like an adventure in incrementalism where I start spending a little time in the office on Tuesdays and then pretty soon I'm there all week, and next thing you know, there's no minister search going on. That is not what's happening. But I am here to be present and to try to support the mission of this beautiful place and congregation and you. And so you can talk to me about that, and we'll see how it goes. Is there anything I should add to that, Eric? What's that? Yeah, I'm going to be here each Tuesday. Right now the plan is for 3 hours, and just sort of see what unfolds from that. But just so I'm clear, I'm actually being paid to do this by you. So take advantage of it. And we'll just see if it helps. So with that in mind, that's, yes. I don't know. I mean, in my wildest imagination, I don't think I'm going to show up at noon on Tuesday and there's going to be a line out the door. Although, feel free to overwhelm me. I mean, yes. Yeah, I'll be here every Tuesday until we decide to do something different. And right now the plan is to do it from noon to 3. But we might adjust the hours, but that's the plan right now. There might be a week where I have to go somewhere or be somewhere else, and we'll have to let you know somehow that I won't be there. But as far as making the appointments, I think it's a good idea. Especially if you want dedicated private time with me, I can block off some time. Appointments would be good. You can always risk just dropping in. We're going to see how it goes. Right, Greg? Or Eric? So, yes. Not really. No, that's. Yeah, I'm really not qualified. Well, I'm lay qualified. I'm not trained in pastoral care. I care about people though, so I can do that part. I'm not a counselor. I mean, I do work in my life. Coaching, we call it, because there's a difference. As soon as you call yourself a counselor, there's a lot of things that get attached to that in our way of looking at things. I'm just a guy who is a unitic, a student in Unity. I'm on a journey. I'm learning. I've done a lot of things in human behavior and development, and I can help with that. I've done business things. I can support that. I just offered to do a little more, and this is how we're going to try it. And if it helps, great. And if it doesn't, we'll make an adjustment. And in the meantime, when you walk by those folks, at least try to see the Budapest in them, okay? All right.
May you have auspiciousness and causes of success. May you have the confidence to always do your best. May you take no effort in your being generous, sharing what you can, nothing more, nothing less. May you know the meaning of the word happiness. May you always lead from the beating in your chest. May you be treated like an esteemed guest. May you get to rest, may you catch your breath. And may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa. And may the road less paved be the road that you follow. Whoa. Now here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. May you be as fascinating as a slap bracelet. May you keep the chaos and the clutter off your desk. May you have unquestionable health and less stress. Having no possessions, though immeasurable wealth. May you get a gold star on your next test. May your educated guesses always be correct. And may you win prizes shining like diamonds. May you really own it each moment to the next. And may the best of your todays be the worst of your tomorrows. Whoa. And may the road less paved be the road that you follow. Whoa. Well, here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. Oh, I want you to have it all you can imagine, all. No matter what your path is, if you believe it, then anything can happen. Go, 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 raise your glasses, go, go, go. You can have it all. I'd toast you. Here's to the hearts that you're gonna break. Here's to the lives that you're gonna change. Here's to the infinite possible ways to love you. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times we're gonna have. You don't need money, you got a free pass. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. I want you to have it all. I want you to have it. Here's to the good times that we're gonna have. Here's to you always making me laugh. Here's to the fact that I'll be sad without you. I want you to have it all.
Thank you, Eric. That was awesome. And thank you, Bruce. Throughout our service this morning, we have raised our consciousness into the knowing of the truth of who we are, God, in expression. And it's from this place, then, that we can pray with others and connect in our consciousness. So take a breath. And it is in this awareness that we now give with ease and generosity to this special place, Unity Spiritual Center, where we make the connection that God is the source of our being. We know that God is the source, but each one of us are the channels that support Unity Spiritual Center. So please bless your offering as we affirm together, I am the channel for the flow of abundance.
And you know this song. You sang it last week with Bonnie. We're going to be singing once again with Janice Stanfield. And as the offering plate comes by, please feel free to stand up. And now we will enjoy the ride.
Life is a fast train through peaks and valleys, streets and alleys and countryside. You never know just how far you're going. The trick is to learn to enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. This train thunders on with no end in sight. The trick is to learn to enjoy the ride. We have our baggage packed in childhood. It holds us back till we let it go. But on this journey of a lifetime, you can go fast or you can go slow. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. This train thunders on with no end in sight. The trick is to learn to enjoy the ride. So why do I scare myself like a backseat driver, thinking of train wrecks most of the time?
But as I analyze, theorize, philosophize,
the trick is to learn to enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. This train thunders on with no end in sight. The trick is to learn to enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. This train thunders on with no end in sight. The trick is to learn to enjoy the ride. The trick is to learn to enjoy the ride. The trick is to learn to enjoy the ride.
Please be seated.
Woo, Janet, that was great. From a place of high consciousness, we gratefully receive each gift and prayer, expanding the possibilities of each person who gives with intention and allowing the abundance of God to express as us. Amen. And as we continue praying for others, let us share our empowering search team affirmation. All together with open minds and hearts, centered in God's love, empowered in the truth that we are one in spirit, I am gratefully aligned with the high consciousness of our new minister in divine order, and all is well. As a spiritual practice of tithing, Unity Spiritual Center gives a portion of our offering to several organizations, including one special one that we choose each month. This month, we're giving 2% of our offering to the Ronald McDonald Charities of Northeast Ohio. We hope our time together today has lifted and inspired you. And one of the great things about Unity Spiritual Center is that we do offer so many different ways to practice our principles that we believe and help deepen ourselves and our ability to trust life and each other. There's going to be a Lenten series, Let Go and Let God. It begins Ash Wednesday, which, if you can believe it, is this Wednesday, February 14th, and it'll be for the next 7 Wednesdays at 7 p.m. So come and release old patterns, and we prepare for the renewal of the Christ at Easter. Join us on Tuesday, February 20th at noon for our next Lunch and Learn. This time it's going to be a chili cook-off, and we're asking you to just sign up if you can so that we know what everybody's bringing. Jerry Ashbury and Sandra Busher will be demonstrating LifeWave X39 stem cell patches. And we have a really special treat for you coming in March. Deidre Francois is presenting Black History Celebrity Showcase live. She'll be here on March 2nd at 7 p.m. And the tickets are $25. You can register online, you can purchase at the door, and you can buy your tickets out in the hall today. So be sure to mark your calendars. So all throughout the week, we have so many chances for you to expand your spiritual life here at USC. So I invite you again, just take a bulletin insert, go on our website, or look out in the foyer at the turnstiles. We're so glad you came this morning. And if you're here in person, join us in the community room for coffee and fellowship. Prayer chaplains are always available after the service in the prayer sanctuary to pray with you. If this is your first time here, or you just would like more information about Unity Spiritual Center, we have some welcome bags in the foyer that you can take. Our guest speaker next week is Reverend Karen Shepard, and our soloist will be Barb Clue. And now please stand as we sing our closing songs, and then go and be the light.
God
You are the light of God. You are the love of God. You are the power of God. You are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We are the light of God. We are the love of God. We are the power of God. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well.